The Cradle of Civilization, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was once the birthplace of humanity's first cities, first writing, and powerful empires. But today, that ancient heartland is under threat, not from war, but from climate change. Salt building up in the soil, wind-eroded ruins, sand dunes swallowing thousand-year-old monuments. This is not just archaeology, it's a fight for history itself. The region we now call southern Iraq is more than dusty ruins. It's where civilization first flourished. Ancient city-states like Ur, Babylon, and Uruk grew along the Tigris and Euphrates. Sumerians debated in courts, built ziggurats, and wrote the earliest known cuneiform. These places weren't just historic, they shaped languages, law, mathematics, and religion. Their mud brick temples and monumental walls stood for millennia. But the materials they used, mud bricks made from local clay, are extremely vulnerable to environmental stress. In recent years, Iraqi archaeologists have sounded the alarm. Rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and harsh dry weather are driving salt into the soil. This salt doesn't just sit there. It crystallizes in ancient bricks, slowly shattering their structure from within. In Ur's royal cemetery and ziggurat, salt has already begun to eat away important layers of mud brick. Meanwhile, sand dunes driven by windstorms are eroding the northern side of the ziggurat of Ur, a structure over 4,000 years old. And then there's pollution and industrial activity. Toxic minerals and salt in floodwaters make their way into ancient clay walls, accelerating deterioration. Experts also warn of rising groundwater levels and increasing heat waves, which stress these fragile materials even further. Let's look at Ur first. In the city of Ur, archaeologists say the northern side of its famous ziggurat is eroding due to a deadly mix: sand dunes plus wind plus salt. Dr. Abdullah Nasrallah, from the Daikar Antiquities Department, warns that the second layer of the ziggurat is already showing damage from windborne sand. Not far off, the Royal Cemetery, discovered by British archaeologist Leonard Woolley, is under constant assault. Salt deposits are creeping into the very heart of the mud bricks, threatening to bring down tombs built thousands of years ago. Now take Babylon. This once mighty empire's architecture is not safe either. High salinity is gnawing at clay-based walls that once held elaborate Sumerian reliefs, the same clay that was used millennia ago when the ground had much lower salt. Experts say earlier restoration work, carried out decades ago, actually made things worse because some of the repairs were not climate resilient. This isn't just about old ruins. It's about the loss of a legacy. When we lose Ur or Babylon, we erase chapters of human history that define who we are. It's also a warning sign. If climate change can destroy a site buried for millennia, what does that say about our ability to protect our future? And the problem isn't just environmental. Many of these sites lack funding for proper restoration. Additionally, decades of war and instability have left these monuments more exposed. Some experts suggest urgent action, building green belts, lines of trees to block wind and sand, creating better water management, and restoring with materials that resist salt damage. But right now, the clock is ticking. The Cradle of Civilization is not just a museum piece. It's our legacy, and it's under siege. What happens here matters, not just for Iraq or archaeologists, but for all of us who value the roots of human civilization. If you care about history, heritage, and our shared future, we must demand preservation. I'm Dicky, and this is Dicky Explores History. Subscribe, join the conversation, and help shine a spotlight on the fight to save our most ancient places. Because if we let them fade away, a piece of all of us disappears with them.